You're listening to a podcast from the Today programme on BBC Radio 4. After the 3 o'clock news this afternoon, there will be a moment of stillness on Radio 4 before a single voice is heard singing, "Once in Royal David City stood a lowly cattle shed." It is the way many carol services begin. And this one, the Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols, comes live from the Chapel of King's College, Cambridge, every Christmas Eve. The BBC first broadcast the service in 1928, when among the choristers was a 10-year-old David Briggs. He went on to become the headmaster of King's College School, which provides the choristers. All still boys, although the school is now co-educational. Mr. Briggs is now 98. He still sings, and Michelle has been speaking to him.
The story for me, I think, starts in 1926. My father was the rector of Loughborough Parish Church, and I was one of 5 children, and he thought it would be a lovely idea for us 2 boys to try to get into King's Choir. And we came up for the trial and went to the college, along with, I think, about 30 other little boys. Halfway through, they made a short list to sing in the chapel itself. I think I'm the only person living to have survived the first broadcast in 1928.
Do you remember it?
I don't remember a lot about it. What I do remember is that the recording mechanism was very, very primitive, and it consisted of a very small quantity of electric stuff. I suppose we must have sung "Once in Royal David City."
How important were the preparations for the carol service in the life of the choir?
In a way, we rather took it on our stride. We were totally engrossed in the music, and so we didn't have any nerves or anything like that. I can't remember being nervous. It was just one of the things that you did, really.
Did you as choristers enjoy the fact that the choir was becoming well known in that way?
As a boy, you don't think about those things. We just loved the music, and we loved the organist, and we loved the dean. And so it was a very close family, really.
Lots of people probably don't realise what it's like for the choristers in terms of the fact that you don't get to go home for Christmas until Christmas Day.
On the contrary, we actually had 2 Christmases, you see, because we had a Christmas of sorts at the school, and then we went home and had a Christmas at home, so we had a sort of double dose of Christmas.
Which are the carols that move you the most?
Well, I think Hark the Herald, really, and this is a very conventional answer, I suppose, but O Come All Ye Faithful. I particularly stress O Come All Ye Faithful, because faith, I think, is such an essential part of life. Everybody has faith in something, and I think, to me, faith in the Christian religion is really what keeps me going.
This Christmas, one of your granddaughters will be singing in the carol service at Durham Cathedral. What does it mean to you to see the music that's been so much a part of your life carried on down through the generations?
Well, it means a great deal, because I think that her experience in Durham had a very profound effect on her character.
Because there still aren't that many opportunities for girls to sing in choirs, cathedral choirs, for example.
I think that's a pity. I myself can't distinguish at all between the sounds of girls and the sounds of boys. I did actually introduce girls to the school. Well, about the last thing I did as headmaster, and the very day that I introduced girls, all the little boys lay down in protest on the drive and refused to let the cars come in.
The schoolboys protested about the girls.
But that only lasted about 2 days.
What is it, do you think, about this concept, the Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols, that's proved to be so compelling over the years?
It's a combination of the particular texts chosen, interspersed with carols, but it just sort of hits the nail on the head. And it's just what people need in a frenetic, materialistic Christmas that we have these days, that you can stop and pause and think about more eternal things. And I think it's a good sort of medium for getting beyond the materialism of Christmas.
David Briggs, thank you very much.
Now, it's probably worth saying that singing is actually from 1972, when Mr. Briggs was headmaster, because unless you have a recording in your attic, there hasn't been one from 1928, the Christmas broadcast that survived. It's also probably worth saying that David Briggs, who Michelle was talking to there, is the father of Anne Atkins, who we'll hear on Thought for the Day.
For nearly 90 years, BBC radio listeners have been there for thousands of homeless and vulnerable people across the UK by supporting the work of St Martin in the Fields. Asma Mir has been looking at how your money has changed people's lives.
The Connection and the Vicar's Relief Fund offer crisis grants, emergency shelter, food, help and advice to thousands of homeless and vulnerable people across the UK throughout the year. A family from Devon wrote to say, "The children and I are so grateful for your kindness in helping us to secure a home. Unexpected kindness is the most powerful, most underrated agent of human change."
We once again need you to pause and pay attention to those in need. Help change lives and make a difference by making a donation to the BBC Radio 4 Christmas Appeal on the Radio 4 website. Thank you.